Hey, we just celebrated Easter. The tomb is empty. Death is defeated. Jesus is alive. John tells us that Jesus appeared to Mary and then 3 times to the disciples. And according to Paul, he also appeared to over 500 brothers and sisters at once, and then also to James. He was only on the earth for a period of 40 days after his resurrection, and then bam, he ascended to heaven and was gone again. If I would have been there and I saw that Jesus was ascending to heaven, I would have been like, wait, I want to be able to see you. I want to be able to hug you, laugh with you, hang out with you. And yet there he disappeared into the clouds. But he had told his followers to stay there in Jerusalem until they received the gift that his Father had promised. And those who obeyed Jesus and stayed in Jerusalem and waited for this gift, they received quite an introduction to this helper, the Holy Spirit. In Acts chapter 2, Luke records that suddenly the sound like the blowing of a violent wind came from heaven and filled the whole house where they were gathered. They saw what seemed to be tongues of fire that rested on each of them, and they were filled with the Holy Spirit. They began to speak the praises of God in other tongues. Crowds began to assemble, and people heard their own native languages being spoken. Also, because of having received this gift, the Helper, Jesus' followers devoted themselves to learning more about following Jesus. They committed themselves to gathering together to eat and to pray with glad and sincere hearts. They performed many wonders and miracles. They even sold property and possessions to give to anyone who had a need. This is what life looked like for those who had received the gift of the Holy Spirit. Now, I read this and then I look at my life today. I'm a follower of Jesus. I love him with all my heart. I have his word available to me. And it says that I've been given this same gift, this same power, the same helper. But I'm not performing any miracles. And I don't always pray with a sincere or glad heart. I haven't sold my house and my possessions to help people in need. I don't see the same power at work as described in the Bible, and I'm quite sure it's not the Holy Spirit's fault. The roles the Holy Spirit wants to play in our lives are limitless, but here are 2 that I believe are vital in seeing his power at work in us. Number 1, the Holy Spirit is our teacher. Jesus said in John 14:26, "But the Helper, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, he says, he will teach you all things and bring to your remembrance all that I said to you." Now, I'm a teacher, and I absolutely love to figure out how to best teach each student. I teach a big group of kids the Bible each Sunday. Some kids intently listen, and some are a million miles away, thinking about other things more important to them at the moment. I've taught piano and guitar lessons for many years. Some students I have to ask several times to watch me. I say, "Here, watch my hand, watch my hands." But they're so busy trying to figure it out on their own, they spend a lot more time learning than if they would have just looked at me. Others take up considerable lesson time explaining in depth why they just messed up the last 8 chords. Some want to have what I offer, but don't want to partner with me by practicing throughout the week. Some frequently cancel lessons. Some are convinced they'll never learn. Now, I love each of my students, and I love what they teach me about letting the Holy Spirit teach me? Like, how often do I not hear the Spirit's instruction because my mind is a million miles away, usually worrying about something that He could teach me to overcome? How often is He trying to get me to watch His hands? He's saying, watch my hands. And I'm looking at my own hands, trying to figure things out on my own. How much valuable learning time do I miss out on because I'm telling Him all the reasons why I just messed up? How often do I want what He offers, but I don't want to put into practice what He's already teaching me? How often do I cancel lesson opportunities with Him? How often have I been convinced that I'll never learn? Oh, that we would become humble, hungry, listening students who show up to learn from the Holy Spirit. Number 2, the Holy Spirit is our comforter. Jesus said in John 14:16, "And I will pray to the Father, and He shall give you another comforter, that He may abide with you forever." Could the reason I don't cling to Him and see His power at work be that I'm pretty intentional about keeping my life as comfortable as possible? That I'm being my own comforter? We like our comfort zones, don't we? But what if we intentionally stepped out of our comfort zones? What if we actually needed more divine comfort in our lives? What if we engaged a hurting world the way Jesus calls us to? What if we took a risk in sharing the good news of Jesus with someone? What if we sold a possession to help someone in need? What if we try it? What if we try it this week? We just might find that the same power that conquered the grave really does live in us. And how cool would that be?